Welcome back to another episode of How the Pros Play. Today, we're taking a look at the famous Strider-Doom-Sentinel Team, and I thought of something interesting for this one. To show that even a team with a relatively straightforward game plan can really differ from player to player, I interviewed the two players whose names have become synonymous with this team, Clockw0rk and Locdown, to hear their personal opinions and to make my job just a little bit easier with this analysis. Make sure to drop them a follow on their social medias, they've been a huge help in the making of this video. All of their links are in the description. So, without any further introductions, here's how the pros play Marvel vs. Capcom 2. First, let's talk about Strider. Strider is known for having a whole arsenal of special moves at his disposal, all of which a good Strider player needs to be familiar with in order to maximize the character's true potential. But before we can talk about his special moves, we need to talk about the win conditions of the team. Strider is the centerpiece of the composition, mainly because of his Ouroboros super. This super allows Strider to completely lock the opponent down for the active duration or make closing in on him really risky. That being said, Strider is a low health character, therefore he needs to be extra careful, otherwise the player risks being blown up. And if Strider is lost, Doom and Sentinel aren't too strong against the proper team. So let's talk about Dr. Doom and Sentinel for a bit. Both of their assists are amazing at extending Strider's pressure, and Sentinel is a great point character for building some meter and to try and create an opening for Strider. This is mainly because of Sentinel taking 25% less damage than any other character in the game. Lockdown especially likes keeping Sentinel out as long as possible, building a comfortable 3 or even 4 bars before tagging in Strider. It's generally not even a bad idea to eat an anti-air assist as Sentinel, as long as your opponent can't pick up an infinite from the hit, because fully absorbed hits build a ton of meter for relatively low health loss. Check out how long it takes Lockdown to build a full bar for only a tenth of Sentinel's HP. And what about Dr. Doom? His B assist not only helps you rack up chip damage, but also helps Strider have time to activate another super in case he runs out. Dr. Doom mostly wants to be positioned in front or sandwich the other character between himself and Strider. Also, keep in mind that the Doom rock assist has two different stages where it can hit opponents. The rock's gathering and then the rock's expelling. These two stages have to be interlinked and will not combo on their own. Strider's main tool for linking the two stages of Doom rocks is Heavy Kick, as it moves Strider forward a bit, making sure it connects. Now that the introductions are over, there's still two more members of the team we need to talk about, and those are Strider's animals. Strider has two animal formations at his command, those being a panther and a hawk. These are probably his most used special attacks, and that's because they both help extend or restart his insane Ouroboros pressure. The panther can be used to fill in the hole between pressure strings when the opponents have no way of jumping out after the block's done, and the hawk covers any attempts the opponent would have at jumping out, or can just straight up substitute the panther if the targeted character is tall enough. And not only that, but the hawk can also be used to pressure opponents on incoming, forcing them to block while Strider stays at a safe distance. Another method for keeping the opponent in place is using Strider's great teleport and assist calling at the apex, but then switching the sides back. This sandwiches the opponent between Strider and Doom and allows for some very oppressive pressure. Teleport makes the opponent go from a straight up block situation to having to guess, which is why it's one of Strider's most useful tools. A move that is often overlooked, but definitely cannot go without mention as well, is Excalibur. This air-only move is mostly just a meterless combo ender, which is favored a lot by Clockw0rk, but it's got some other niche utilities. Check out how in this clip, Lockdown uses it to escape a guard break attempt by trading with Magneto. Now I know what you're all thinking. Sure, these moves are fantastic and whatnot, but what happens when Strider gets blown up? Earlier I've mentioned that it's a bad situation to get into, but that doesn't mean that the team doesn't have other outs. Dr. Doom can do some great work with his amazing strings, his gun, and his photon array super, which does amazing chip damage. Sentinel can also hold it down in a one-on-one situation, but is very susceptible to infinites because of his big body. The shell of the team needs Strider, just as much as Strider needs them. Now that we have established how the team is played, let's look at its two best players and how their different playstyles and personalities shine through their gameplay. Let's start with Clockw0rk, the original creator and namesake of this team. Clockw0rk greatly excels at aggression and rushdown, often opting to take big risks and committing to ideas very early. He is a total glass cannon. His willingness to go into scrambles against certain characters, sometimes without even having meter for it, definitely makes him less predictable and more explosive of an opponent. Like in this situation, for example, where even after burning a super at round start, he keeps going in against Yipes and his Magneto without any respect for the consequences. After Clockw0rk builds back his meter through the scramble, Magneto actually misses an overhead and Strider gains the upper hand, then lands the cross-up and extends the combo, gaining a huge advantage by having Magneto on really low life, which ultimately leads to him getting blown up when he is tagged back in later. For the next clip, here's one of my favorite sequences from Clockw0rk, where he actually manages to punish the Sentinel super and then goes immediately into the infinite, does not drop it all the way through, and then after combo protection releases Sentinel, Clockw0rk makes a mad dash to the right side of the screen to make sure he can sandwich the Sentinel with the Doom assist call. This also stops Josh's Iron Man assist, and he does Sentinel super to try and finish off the helpless Doom assist, but Clockw0rk counter-activates in between the super loops because Rocket Punch doesn't reach him on full screen. Clockw0rk then teleports on top of Sentinel, which he can only do because of Ouroboros being active, and it crosses up Sentinel before his third row of drones could come in. Then he does a side switch combo and finishes off Sentinel, calls in a Hawk, and delayed teleports to be absolutely sure that Tony cannot get away. And just for some added flavor, decides to carry him to the other side of the screen with an Excalibur. Iron Man is forced to block all the chip after this, and after a jump out attempt fails thanks to a well placed Hawk, Clockw0rk confidently takes the lead 2 characters up. After that amazing display, let's move on to Locdown, who is generally a more collected and methodical player, also very skilled with his Sentinel, using it to great lengths when building meter on round start. He controls more space in the air and moves around a lot compared to Clockw0rk's passive, more reserved Sentinel. When Lockdown isn't applying pressure with Strider, he often just moves around, trying to find favorable spacing, looking for a punish, or doing jump jabs to pin the opponent and start a string from there. This type of play is showcased perfectly in this clip, where Strider gets snapped in against Magneto, which is normally big trouble, but Lockdown manages to find a stray hit with jump jab, which is Strider's best air-to-air option, and can turn the tides instantly by activating super behind the cover of Doom Rocks. From here, he teleports and crosses Magneto up, leading to a 30% combo, and I really want to emphasize this part because right here, Strider is actually out of meter as he teleports, but the cross-up Doom assist call keeps Magneto in block stun long enough that Lockdown can activate again and go for another very tricky cross-up teleport, ending the combo with an Excalibur this time, leaving Magneto basically with no HP to stay in the game with, and then some stray Doom Rocks finish the job anyway. This next clip is actually one of my favorite sequences, because it really shows how easily Strider can run away with a small advantage. Lockdown chips out Sentinel and instantly starts setting up for Magneto tagging in, and I mean just look at this. Only using the animals, Lockdown leaves absolutely no space for Magneto to be, while also building half a meter and buying himself time to activate. Even after it seems like Magneto can finally break loose, he ends up getting caught by Doom Rocks and another Hawk, giving Strider another 30% conversion. Lockdown also pays attention to always keep sandwiching Magneto between the Doom Assist and Strider, because this way the Cable Assist will lock onto Doom by default, protecting Strider from getting caught out. By forcing his opponent to constantly deal with his threats, Strider can create a situation where he's the one in charge. As you can see, Strider-Doom-Sentinel is a really oppressive team that, when properly mastered, can produce some of the flashiest and most mechanically intense sequences in Marvel 2. With all of that being said, I'm officially out of things to talk about. A huge thank you to everyone subscribing, as the channel has recently reached 1,000 subs. It genuinely means a lot to me, and I hope I can keep sharing my knowledge with as many people as possible. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe and all that type of stuff. Also, give the players in this video a follow on their socials as well. Their links are in the description. Thank you for watching, and take care.